Chapter 4, A Guide to the Future. So, the four of us changed Seina's probability bias. Kariko's team reacted to the news in Washi's report that Eri told them. Originally, this was what Irma's reports assumed, so you knew to a certain extent. That's true. But Washi's conclusions have confirmed it, so there's no doubt. But when we were together, we were still attacked by space pirates, weren't we? But everyday injuries to Seina have stopped, haven't they? Eri glared at Kariko. She had the most experience with Seina's injuries in the past. They've been less frequent, but the probability bias won't go away. Seina will still suffer some damage, and the probability is fluctuating though. Although there's some distortion, its vector direction has changed. For people. Does that mean Hakurin and her girls too? It's been confirmed, and the Fuku clones as well. Why for people? If you're interested, I'll tell you in my spare time, but for now, just keep in mind that you can reverse his luck. Okay, Kariko said. Well, so as a result of considering this fact, we have decided to continue maintaining training for Seina even after graduating from the academy. Of course, if Jurai and Balta acknowledge it, you and Ryoko won't have to worry about official affairs while doing so, but since Hakurin's team are Sito's employees, they will have to go back to her service again for official dispatch. The Fuku team is not yet able to participate in a single task independently, but we're working on that too. But Fuku-chan still has control of the Kamedake? As a team, it will be different from Kariko-chan's. Think of Miki and the others as Fuku-chan's backup staff. So then, we're the main crew. Yes, that's what I expect. Also, while we're here, Eri paused. ZNV was found to be a first-generation royal tree as a result of the investigation. Oh! I was expecting something like that, but is it really a first generation? Kariko asked Eri. There's no mistaking it. So is Seina going to become royalty? Our findings regarding ZINV are being withheld from disclosure for now, so we're holding out on going that far. Of course, that would change if Seina decides to quit the GP and become part of the royal family. Seina won't quit the GP, so I guess it's a non-issue. Well, that is what the GP is hoping for. As for ZNV, please keep what you know about it secret for now. Any further questions? All responded silently. Okay, then leave the room. Seina, you can come in now. Seina was called in as the girls left and Eri led him down her stairs to the lower level. When they arrived at the bottom, the doors opened in opposite directions. There was a corridor that straddled two buildings. He saw a garden behind a gate with a path leading to the back to the apartments for her staff. Where is this? Above him was the huge obsidian floor of Eri's office supported by several pillars. It seemed to be slightly transparent and glowed light brownish green. My house, I used to live here with Yosho, Minaho, and Kion in the past. Here, it was more than big enough for our family of four. I know you can't see it too well from here, but there's a large pond in the back that Kion used to love to play in. It was certainly a small mansion in comparison to the staff apartment. It was wider than Seina's current home. Eri headed to the left building. They entered a large living room. Sit and I'll make us some tea. No. I don't. Eri entered the kitchen in the back. Within a few minutes, she came back with a big cup and a small pot. Here you go. Oh, thank you. Don't be alarmed. It's not laced with anything. No, I'm not worried about that. It's been 150 years since I've had another man in here. Don't be like that. That's not why I brought you here. You're here because I wanted to talk about your future. I understand. He had stood up to leave, but he quickly sat down on the sofa again. Seina, aren't you graduating in a few months? I want to confirm with you your intentions for the future. Your answers affect the GP and the academy, so please think carefully and answer me well. Yes, I understand. Have you heard that there are humanoid weapons very similar to ZANV in the Renza Federation? I heard that ZANV may be their originator, maybe. Well, we have received some informal requests from them, asking for the results from the ZINV survey, and even some requests to hand over ZNV itself. Hand it over? No way. The expression on Seina's face became steep, and Eri quickly picked up the conversation to control it. Of course, we refused. You're the one who discovered it, and you're its master. Not to mention ZNV has its own will. There's no need to respond to their advantage. I don't plan to do that. Oh, so is that a good thing? Also, at this stage, they don't know ZINV is an imperial tree. Nor has it been publicly announced that it's the founder of the humanoid weapons of Renza, which they don't know. But that won't keep them from trying to send in spies to find out, and even to possibly take ZNV. It's also possible you may be targeted. It's a first-generation tree and you have the Kamadic. I don't think there's anyone who can put up an offense against that, but Sena, you're different. Well, both the Kamadic and Fuku were taken away once. As long as you touch the world, there's a limit to what you can protect. If you were an ordinary person, there would be nothing to worry about. But in this case, your enemies are at a national level, so No, the Galactic Federation can't present to you a lot of options. Eri took a deep breath, calmed down, drank tea, and moistened her thirsty throat. Sena, if that happens, we in the GP can defend and back you up, and so can Jurai. But that is only possible if you live on Earth on the condition that you don't leave it. It's quite controversial, but those are the facts. In fact, if you refuse, you might be drawn into a fight against the Federation. As might be expected. But I'm going to treat you as a VIP until then. If you are dissatisfied with anything here, we will give you preferential treatment. I do not have any dissatisfactions at the moment. If you want a woman, I'm more than happy to help you out with that. I don't need that. Well, the situation with these things is always changing. So, you don't have to think about it right now, and you can talk to me again when things change. I just wanted to let you know about the future and the degree of danger you could be in. But for now, you're still a minor who's about to graduate from the GP Academy, and there are still labor and underage protection laws we have to abide by that have my hands tied for now on certain issues. Oh, I see. Yeah, that's right. All parties involved, including me, are completely paralyzed, and it's been a pain having to deal with them, especially concerning Akka. Sena finally realized the abnormality of his position. By the way, they had also received inquiries from various fields at the same time in various ways, from accounting and taxation agencies, trying to account for the abnormally large income for someone his age and the personal ownership problem of the Kamadic, and so on. So, I'm getting a lot of scolding by people in charge of certain things. Anyways, think about it, okay? I understand. Sena went back to his dorm. His roommates greeted him. They worried about how he looked after coming back from Ares. You know you can talk to us about it if you ever need to, but he couldn't. They then decided to celebrate by ordering delivered food, which they were now, as seniors, allowed to do. But they made Sena pay because Kenneth spent all his money on sex toys and Rajo spent all his money on his hobbies. Sena showed them his budget for the day, and they all ordered around that amount. While they ate, he asked them what they were going to do after graduation. Kenneth wanted to be a first-class special detective, which is a detective that is above any jurisdiction and has access to any case so he can investigate widespread incidents. Basically, a philosopher of the detective department. Rajo wanted to be a special area delivery person, someone who delivers things to places without regular mail service. Eventually, they asked Sena why he decided to join the GP. Well, I mostly did it for my mother. There was no future for me on Earth after junior high, and I just didn't want to be a burden on her. What was your first impression of going up into the universe and entering the GP? I was surprised. It felt like the world suddenly expanded, and when I first talked to you too, and you explained my probability bias, I realized there was a whole world of things here I couldn't even imagine. At that time, Sena remembered the most important thing. What's wrong? My probability bias became my weapon. I hurt myself and hurt people. And I even changed the entire galaxy. The fate of the entire Galactic Federation has changed. Your bad luck is kind of indispensable now, isn't it? Oh, that's it. That was it. I decided to stay because there was a person who said that my talent was necessary. He pictured Cedo in his head. I want you to name me, echoed in his memory. To name a person, it was to establish a person's identity. So, he was hesitant to do so. Mirror Cedo was like a second mother to him in a way. She was the person who established Sena Yamada, the ego. Taking the chance to name her would make him her birther in a way. Sena, what's wrong? Oh, I was lost in thought a bit. I think I'm going to stay with the GP after this.